Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:47 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, September 16, 2020, FOMC day. So looking back at yesterday's action, right? The top of this is comparing daily value areas for each of the four indexes, and what you can see is we basically had above balance except for the Russell or except for the Dow, right? The Dow comes back down, it trades all the way into value, holds value area low, and goes up and just closes in value area right near the point of control, which is this yellow dash line. And if we look at the overnight ranges, right, we can see that the Russell dipped at the end, so did the Dow. But looking at the ES, right, it just pretty much stayed in the overnight value area zone all day long. It actually hit the point of control earlier, kind of wiggled around it for a while that had the late day sell off, come back down into the value area low zone, and went back up and traded the point of control for the overnight session. That ended up being around the point of control, was up here in this red zone, right? Value area high for the day. So as we look at really what's going on here with the Nasdaq, similar action, right? But it didn't even touch value area low. It never even got basically into the previous day's range. So basically, we had a balanced day up above for everything, and then the Dow was a little bit of a weakness, right? So looking at the ES, I've added on my grids, I've added some just basic support resistance lines for the ES. So when we come into these levels, you're aware of, these are just simple support resistance that the market's been respecting. It doesn't matter why they have been, so we will respect them. So they're basically areas that, as you're coming up into them, they're potentially resistance. As you're coming from above, they're potentially support, and you should expect them to react as such until proven otherwise, or they flip above a zone, right? And then the resistance becomes support, blah, blah, blah. You've seen this manual many times. So as we look at the floor trader pivot levels, 33.34 on the low side, 34.56 on the high side. So zooming into, really what's going on this session, after we had that, late day liquidation, rally back up what should have been the sell zone, come back down, in the overnight, really tested below value area low, but above the previous day's low, and responded up above there, come back down to the settlement. And now this morning we've had retail sales that come out at 8:30. That was this bar here. Come out a little under expectations. Go figure with the this is the August read, so that's when the extra $600 a week for unemployment dried up. So guess what? People aren't spending money they don't have. So I'm sure that a lot of furus on Wall Street missed that point that most of those consumers spend every penny that they have. So as we look at really what's going on now, you need to split the session up today into two periods, right? Before 2 o'clock and after 2 o'clock. If you are in a funded account, my advice is to you by 1:30 to get out of your account and don't trade anymore the rest of the day. If you are, trading your own money, you can go through and look at the sessions and think about all this as an overnight session leading into 2 o'clock Eastern time from now when the bell rings. So we're going to have a split session, and I even dissect that a little bit further. I go from the opening bell to 11:30 to 12, and then back to 2 o'clock, and then from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And usually there's a reversion to the mean between 11:30 to 12 to 2 o'clock that reverts back towards wherever we open today. I think it's just an easy algo play, and that's what they do. So looking at all the indexes overnight, above value area high for the Russell, above value area high for the Nasdaq, above value area high for the ES, and below value area high but in value for the Dow, and trading right on that point of control that it was waffling with yesterday. So I have 34.1375 as a basic support resistance line. You can see we peaked above it, got up to 18 quarter, but really that's been where we've struggled from most of the overnight session. So I'll be paying more attention to that than I will this overnight high. And above that, I have 34.36 quarter, and below for besides the levels marked on the screen are 33.6475. So looking real quick at the Nasdaq, we have come back in here. I think we found the bottom of the trading range potentially, but you will have to watch the halfway back short from this all-time high right down to these swing lows, and respect the 38.2, the 50, the 61.8, the 78.6. I think that the real resistance for the Nasdaq is going to come in the future when it tries to trade up near 11,927. Until then, I think we can stair step back and forth. We can, add time and energy in these areas, and I think we found the trading range that's probably going to last for the most part until after the election. And that's going to be that way for all the indexes. Looking at the Russell, this was more of a major line for me, this 1534.30. Again, that leads up to 1551.10. Below is 1525.80. And this is really the zone that I'm still watching for the most part. You can see we had some flashes in our extreme volatility under it, but you can see that that's where it kept trying to get up to, was this range between 1507.40 and 1490. That was really what it was trying to decide whether it wanted to be above or below this zone. So I'm going to draw this out. I still think it is important to keep on the charts. So we will watch that going forward and see next time we come down here, if that acts the same. So above here, the serious resistance, you can see that this was a swing low basically, and a couple tests at this 1551.10. Above that, 1568.80, and we could potentially stall a little short of that after you have to start climbing the edge of this profile, which lines up with the edge of these previous low body areas of 1558.20. Looking at the Dow, so looking at the Dow, again, just it never even within quite a bit margin for error. But this 27,100 is a significant line in the sand for the Dow. Above there, we could draw out this zone. This is really the one I'm watching, is this 27,682 to 27,921. We're above that now. You can see we're stalling right around this 28,041. Then it leads up to 28,150. Above that, I don't have anything. We could, potentially stall at 28,253, but then it's 28,385. So looking back at all the indexes, just putting a wrap on today, remember to keep it broke up between before and after 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then watch these levels for the ES. This 1375 to 36 quarter is going to be a zone, and then below there. So watch where the market opens today. With that, I bid you good luck